Cheers, everybody. Welcome to happy hour. Clink, clink,
Yeah.
clink, clink. Ah, we let us know if we're here. We just got a weird message and we've got a lot of technical problems here today. How's everybody
We're here.
doing?
Where are you? Yeah.
How's everybody doing, Bob? How are you managing with your house full of cats?
What did you say?
How are you managing with your house full of cat guests?
Good. We have Hampton and his girlfriend staying with us throughout the summer. They're working in the area,
Suzanne
and
Banks.
they
Good
both
evening.
showed up with a cat. One of the cats' name is Lucy. It's like a tabby cat.
Judy.
And then the other one is very dramatic looking cat, and that is Raven.
Regina.
Yeah, Raven. And Raven is a completely black cat except for a little dot of white right here. So when I saw the dot, I went, well, it's not a black cat, so it's got that little
That's good.
dot thing.
Were you
So
worried that it was bad luck or something?
yeah, I'm not a superstitious person that way, really, but we just had a thing on the show the other day that said black cats take almost a month to get adopted, whereas like a tabby takes about 9 days.
But that's
Yeah.
just because people are ignorant.
Yeah,
not the
that's
cat's
right.
fault. People are just so ignorant.
And the cats were in the bedrooms, each of the bedrooms, and for the first day or so would not come out. And then slowly you'd see one of them peek their head out. Raven has been here 3 days and just made the loop around the studio here.
For the first time?
No, and Raven just goes wherever Raven wants. And Finn is 11 years old, so Finn just does not give a crap.
I don't care.
Finn was looking down. Yeah, you're a black cat. Whatever. I don't want to deal with you. And would just go take a nap. So there's not one of these dog versus cat things going on. It's pretty cool.
Let me say hi. Regina can have a drink this week. Last week, Regina was recovering from dental surgery. Hi, Leslie Graham in Hampton, Maine, and Ashley Palmer Fisher and Carrie in Raleigh, and Kathy Pollock in Huntersville. We also have Jane Stevens and Susan Kirk in Midland, Michigan, and Dennis Karen and Erica Wolf. Hi, Brett Ashwell, who's actually off work tonight and usually can't be with us for happy hour. So that's pretty good. And Joe Woodson from Versailles, Kentucky. Hi, Cheryl Newton. How are you? Cheers, everybody. I've had a lot of compliments on my shirt, which is a Hawaiian shirt with Bob's face on it.
Yeah, I got one with your face on it, too. Except your hair is a different color now, so I don't turn it out very much.
Don't even, it's Heather's endless frustration. No sooner will she build something, some kind of graphic, and then I'll cut my hair off or dye it or whatever.
I don't remember. I don't remember. Let me see what my face looks like on that. Yeah.
Lori, good luck on the new hip. I hope that works out well.
Hi, Shannon Lynch and Barbara Boren. I was telling Heather before you and Lamar got here that I just couldn't. Today was a day where my body just rejected a bra. So just so you know, we're commando under the Bob Lacey Hawaiian shirt.
Good to know.
You're welcome.
Good to know.
Well, I have my bra on because you get a little older and you need some support. So
I was talking to some people about this idea that if you don't wear a bra, gravity takes them. But Gen Z doesn't wear bras. Gen Z is killing the bra industry too, apparently.
Is that right?
Yeah, because they don't.
I mean, isn't that a bunch of crap that a bra would actually keep breasts from?
I don't think it's a bunch of crap, though, is it?
Well, not while a woman's wearing it, but I'm saying you can't train those things. It's like, who's kidding who? It's like I was told I could train my hair when I was 13 years old. You cannot train your hair. Your hair is your hair, right?
That's true.
Am I right or am I wrong?
No, you're absolutely right.
No, you can train your hair. Yes.
No, you can't. No, you cannot. No, you cannot. I tried for a decade.
My entire young teen years sitting in a recliner with a mirror, some water, and a comb, working on that. Yep.
I saw a tweet today. This woman tweeted, "I don't get why hair parts come in and out of style. Like my hair has ever done anything I wanted it to do." like most of us have like kind of a natural part. Like my natural part is like maybe right here.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, you can't train your hair. You can't train your boobs. I've never been able to train a dog.
You can't train your kids. You can't train anything.
Train anybody. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You can't train these things. And I just, most of the time, like I've got some bras that I really like, and most of the time it's whatever. But the past couple of days, I just can't. I cannot do it. I cannot do it. So here we are in our Bob Hawaiian shirt and commando. Hi, Melissa Holmes. Oh, and she says after her breast reduction, her surgeon told her she had to wear a bra 24/7. Wow.
Well, that was an operation. You can understand that.
But listen to what Regina said, because she's an ultrasound tech. She's medical. She knows what she's talking about. She says it's all about your breast tissue. The more fatty, the saggier they are. And she said, I've seen thousands of them. Well, girl, sit next to us.
When I was a kid, I would go to the barbershop. I finally got to the age that I could go to the barbershop alone in downtown North Haven. And there was always this, maybe Lamar remembers it. It was not really a poster, but a diagram of the type of haircuts that the barber could give you.
Yes.
Do you remember it? And there was the businessman, which looked like something out of Mad Men, right? Very dapper looking guy, right? With a Wall Street haircut. And there was the crew cut, which, everybody knows what a crew cut is.
Yeah.
And then
flat top.
The flat top. The flat top is.
My brother wore one for years.
Yeah,
so
tell the people
between a flat top and a crew cut.
The flat top, it's a little bit higher, and in the front, it's high. You can lay a ruler on it, and I mean it goes completely flat. And to keep it up there, you use butch wax. You remember,
but the sides had length.
Yeah.
It was longer on the side and flat as can be on the top.
And I mean, the barber that I went to, when he cut a flat top, he would put a ruler up. I mean, he would put it so that it was completely level. I couldn't wear a flat top. My mom said I was too fat for bangs and my head was too round for a flat top. So I was, and she meant it in such a good way.
Too fat for bangs.
You know what? Your mother kept you humble. You know what I'm saying?
She did. Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
I think the flat top was the biggest failure of all male haircuts, even worse than the what's the Joe Dirt one?
Mullet.
The mullet. Yeah.
But the mullet keeps coming back.
I know.
God. Keeps coming back.
Let me ask this again because I'm confused. Was the flat top, was it standing straight up like it was grown out?
You put butch wax on it and it stood completely straight up, and then he cut it. He cut it freehand with the clippers, but it would be absolutely flat on the top.
But on the top here, it was like a crew cut, just a little bit taller than a crew cut, but flat.
Okay, now I can picture.
Yeah, it was a length. It was the length of your head, because when you got to the top of your head, the hair was very short. But I mean, it was a absolute flat top. Yeah.
And then Paulie Walnut's wings on the side.
On the sides.
There's a lot going on.
So Lamar, you weren't allowed to have that because your head was too round. Bob, did you have one of those?
Oh, my father would never have allowed that to come through the front door of my house. No way. It was an exotic haircut. There were only a few guys in North Haven, Connecticut that I can remember that had a flat top. It was very exotic.
So was it kind of like, what, a hoodlum boy? I'm trying to think of what your dad would have called it.
It could have. You could have been that way.
It could be.
You remember, who is it sitting here with Sergeant Carter? Somebody just said it. Jeffrey Rowland. Sergeant Carter on Gomer Pyle. That was a flat top. Sergeant Carter on Gomer Pyle. Yep.
Okay.
Let me try to call Sergeant Carter to mind.
It's kind of hard to believe that they would allow that in. Did Sergeant Carter have the things on the side?
No. He was.
Right.
My brother didn't wear the thick sides. He went. It was
totally military. Yeah.
It was really tight. Yeah, it was really tight.
Yeah. This is. I take a lot of pride in being part of a broadcast that uses Gomer Pyle shows as a reference.
Well, I've learned two things tonight. I've learned what a flat top is, and I learned that y'all used to put butch wax on your heads.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Butch Wax.
I saw Gomer Pyle in concert.
Really? Because he could sing, man.
Yeah. Jim Neighbors in Hawaii.
He lived there.
Yeah, he had a residency in Honolulu, Hawaii for years and years and years. Let me tell you about his lifestyle there, because I took about 200 listeners. This is before Sheri and I got together, about 200 to Hawaii on an excursion. And one of the places that people could go was to see Jim Neighbors in concert. So there was Don Ho, who is the traditional Hawaiian entertainer. And then Jim Neighbors came in after Gomer Pyle went, Dixie, and decided that he would relocate. And so you could choose between Don Ho and Gomer Pyle. And so the group that I was with all wanted to go to see Jim Neighbors, Gomer Pyle. It was a North Carolina crew. And so the guy who was running it said, "You got to go." I said, I really don't want to. He says, "You have to go. Your listeners are going." I'm like, all right. So we're in this really nice theater in Honolulu, probably maybe sat 600 or 800 people. And he would do 2 shows a day, 7 days a week, and pack the house. So we're sitting there and it's time to begin. And we're sitting there and we're waiting, and there's a band and they're tuning up, and, they start to play a little bit of music. And there's this guy who is just kind of wandering around, walking down the aisle, and he's got his head down and all. And all of a sudden he walks up on the stage, this guy, you're going, what is this? And he turns around and goes, "Well, golly." And it's him, and the place goes out. They go out of their minds.
So he does it. I wondered if he would.
They go out of their minds, and then he's got this almost operatic voice. Do you know what he does every night after the show closes? So he finishes the 2 shows, makes, $50,000. He's taken to the airport or somewhere, maybe the top of the hotel. He gets in a helicopter and he flies to his macadamia nut home on a ranch in Maui.
Now you said when the whole Gomer Pyle thing went up, Gomer Pyle bought that house. Let's make no mistake. Gomer Pyle bought that house. I mean,
without a doubt. Yeah, but I mean, for something like 20 years, the guy was packing the houses in Hawaii, just making hundreds, millions of dollars every year.
Yeah, and every once in a while he got to sing on the show. You remember when Barney couldn't sing, and then Barney wanted to do the solo, and they cut Barney's microphone off, and Gomer's in the back, and he sings, and it was fantastic because he got a great voice.
Yeah, he had a great voice.
This is part of the weird black hole in my life experience, because you had to have TV.
Because you're younger than I am.
No, you got to have TV though. You didn't have TV, did you, Sheri?
I didn't have TV.
Wait a minute, we're gonna bring the cats in.
I also didn't have television or radio.
We're bringing on the cats. This is Hampton. Lean in. There's the camera right there.
How you guys doing?
It's so cute.
Can you put,
beautiful.
Let me see your kitty best friend. Get her in close.
That's beautiful.
There she
is.
There she is.
Look at
what do you call that? What kind of cat do you call that, Sheri?
That's a tabby.
Okay.
Yeah. That's
so, Hampton, are you enjoying being a cat daddy?
I am loving it. Actually, it's not as much work nearly as I thought.
Yeah. And she cuddles and she loves you like you're her king. What could be better than that?
Yeah, she is a nice cat.
She's super sweet.
Are you going to is Jordan going to bring?
Oh, yeah. We've got another one. Hold on.
All right. Okay. Jordan's going to bring the other one in just a moment.
Listen, Hampton is slaying whatever hair products he's using.
I don't think he uses any. I think it's just natural.
The genetics of it. Yeah. Oh my God. The genetics.
I think, he gets up at 3 p.m. and he washes his hair and goes in the pool. I think that's about all he does.
Natalie Elise just said, not Hampton with the man voice. Yes, Hampton with the man voice.
All right. Raven? And here's Jordan's cat.
See, I love Raven.
Raven's a beauty.
Beautiful Black Panther.
Yeah. Get Raven right in the hi Raven.
Hampton, are you using any hair care products on those curls? Because you're killing it.
I'm actually not, just water.
Regina just won.
We hate you.
Justice.
It just happens. I don't know.
It just happens. I mean,
It happens.
all right. Well, thanks for bringing him in.
Yeah, for sure.
It's good to see you.
Yeah, she will.
Oh, it's so brutal because, like my older brother he doesn't have he never had curly hair like I did, but he had thick, wavy hair.
Yeah.
And when he was in high school, they hadn't invented hair care products yet. And that man's hair, some days it looked like a soft serve ice cream cone that was melting in the sun.
Yeah.
Some days it looked like an old man's armpit. Like it was so unpredictable. It was so unfair that he couldn't wait to grow up and shave his head. He had had enough of it.
It is funny how some people's hair is unpredictable. One day, and that's why, the phrase women used to use, "I'm having a good hair day." It really was true, but it's true for men too, unless you have, like the Gomer Pyle sergeant haircut. Just, I don't know what it is. Is it humidity or what is it?
I don't think it's humidity for men as much. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have, listen, I don't care who you are, where you are, or how old you are. If you have thick, wavy hair, you have unpredictable hair.
Yeah.
The only way to have predictable hair is to have straight hair or corkscrew curly hair. Everything else, you're just in between. And,
sure,
and
I forgot to tell you the other thing my mama said about my hair, because I would be sitting in the recliner and I'd be trying to do all this different stuff. And my mama said, "You're wasting your time." She said, "You've got fine hair." She said, "It's very fine." She said, "It's as fine." She said, "Your hair is as fine as the hair on a baby's butt." That's what she always.
That does wonders for a boy's confidence, I think.
Yeah.
Why are you not in therapy?
Trial by fire. Trial by fire.
I was telling
that's true.
What were we? Oh, we were talking about something after the show one day, and I said to Lamar, "You're one of the only people I've ever met that does not need therapy." He just lives. Think about Lamar. Lamar lives in the moment. When he reflects, he's, well, that happened and that was tough, but we got through it. This person is gone. I miss them. He doesn't live in the past. He doesn't have anxiety. He doesn't live in the future. He lives in the moment. And one of the ways I can tell, like one of the tests for how much Lamar lives in the moment, is sometimes he'll head into the kitchen and go, I think I'm feeling like a peanut butter and bacon sandwich. And then he makes one and eats it.
Only at midnight. At midnight.
Yeah. Only a man who lives in the moment can do that.
I mean,
I think, and I'll be a wet blanket in a way here. I think it's his spirituality. I do.
It's his chemistry too, though.
Yeah, that's true.
It is his chemistry. Lamar is not wired to be anxious, and he's not wired to be sad. Lamar is wired. He's here for however long he's here, and he's going to have a good time.
And so far, I've had a great one. I think I've had a great one.
Yeah. I do want to say that we're giving away. We're coming up on the anniversary of the time one of our coworkers sank a brand new $60,000 rental car in a swimming pool. Ooh,
really?
Thanks. Yeah. July 7th is the anniversary of that. And so today in the chat in happy hour, every comment counts as an entry. We're giving away our special anniversary commemorative car in the pool drinkware. Oh yeah. I had to do something for an industry trade publication the other day. And they asked me what my most memorable career moment was. And there have been so many. Like, how do you pick a favorite, right? And I debated the car in the pool, but that was actually traumatic. So I didn't think that was a favorite. But how many people get to say that they've had that experience, right? Glass half full.
What was the experience? I was out getting alcohol.
I was telling everybody that a couple days ago, I had to do something for an industry trade publication, and they asked me what my most memorable experience in radio was.
Oh, yeah.
And I did think of the car, in the pool, but that was so traumatic. And we've had so many awesome moments together doing this show and traveling around that I just could not pick a favorite. I just could not.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a good thing. That means, there's been some texture and some many interesting moments. I think my favorite is when you and I opened up for Craig Shoemaker and Pam Stone. They were doing a concert in in an auditorium, and we're friends of theirs. And we became the opening act, and we came up with an idea that I would go out and greet the audience, and I would say, Sheri and I are good partners because everything is 50-50. The money, the power, the accolades, um, what people think of us, everything with us is 50-50. And then some Roman horns sounded, and the lights hit the back of the theater, and 4 well-oiled, shaved college boys
In
loincloths picked up this, I don't even know what you call it. It was like a bed, and carried Sheri, who's dressed like Cleopatra, down the aisle. The audience went out of their minds. They went out of their minds. We had some gay friends in the audience. All of the gay men in the audience were going like that and bowing to her like that. And then she's brought to me on the stage, and I forget what the punchline was, but it so worked. And you know what I heard? You know what I heard after that whole thing? Some of the suits for that company, and that was a good company, but a couple of the suits came down to see Craig Shoemaker and to see, Pam Stone, because the tickets were free for them. Some of the suits are in the audience, and one of them said to another one, "Where is he going with this?"
They have no show business. They have no.
It's like, buddy, go ahead and count the beans and figure out how to screw people out of a pension.
Yeah.
But leave this to us, and it totally worked.
One of the great things that I can never ever talk about, like if I'm asked by an industry publication, what is your proudest accomplishment? The true answer is we've been sticking it to the man, but good from the jump. And we're still here.
Yeah.
But you can't say that. The number of things, like we have the book of Bob, 2 volumes. We should have the book of things Sheri's not allowed to ever say that are true. And that's one of the things I can never say that's true. But a lot of those guys, and of course, those guys that were giving you grief that night, most of them are out of the business. They didn't survive.
Well, and I don't mean, I know the guy who actually said that to a colleague of his, because the colleague kind of ratted him out. And he was a nice man. But, Bud, just shut up and count the beans. Shut up and count the beans. We do this for a living. I know you think that we're all, a little mentally slow because this is the position that we've chose to go through in life. And maybe you're right. But that worked. And
of course it did.
It did work. And Teresa, yes, I did cut my hair. I just cut it.
Thank you, Becca.
I didn't cut it.
Thank you.
My man Jason cut it. Regina said she loves that we always push back on management. I just have to say that, I had the first chapter of my life with my meth head daddy. Like there was no freaking way some asshole was going to push me around. Like I had just been pushed around I used up a lifetime's worth of patience for being pushed around before I turned 21. And I just can't, I'm sorry, I just can't. Now that's not to say that, because I have great relationships with a lot of men in this business who I really admire and respect and turn to for like, I can't figure something out. I know who I want to ask. But some pissant middle manager that doesn't have clue one, who's never done what we do and wouldn't know where to begin, putting his finger in my face and calling me baby girl. Ooh, that brings out the Philly in me.
There are a lot of great men in the business. Well, maybe not a lot, but there are some, and we've worked with a bunch of them. That's why we're on, all over the country. The places that we're on, those are great men and women who run the radio stations. So I want to make sure that I'm absolutely clear about that, and that has been a good part of our career. Yeah, Lamar.
The problem for the guy that's putting his finger in your face and calling you baby doll and stuff, that works unless he's talking to a woman that's had her daddy with a gun in your face. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like
he's got nothing. He's got nothing.
He's got nothing.
I used to look at those guys and I wasn't angry. I never raised my voice. I never got defensive. I was more like a confused dog. Because I would look at those guys and I'd be like, to quote my Queen Taylor Swift, you wouldn't last a day in the asylum where they raised me, Chris.
Yes.
So, Jim, Mitch, Steve, Brian, I mean, any one of you guys, like you just wouldn't have lasted a day. And I work my ass off. Like I work harder than anybody. And I am always trying to be a team player. I'm always here to help you solve a problem. Get your finger out of my face. And so that's really what it came down to. You do not take a girl who's grown up visiting daddy in prison and then talk to her like that. You just can't.
No.
It's not always been men in our career. And I think that there are people listening right now who are not in broadcasting. They do whatever they do. I've had some women who were really negative people and not good people. And to be honest with you, I had one or two that hated men. So it does swing both ways. Now, the predominance is that there are guys.
Have to own that, right?
Yeah.
Predominance. Yeah, I will absolutely give you that. But there are a few. I mean, I had one that was accusing me of throwing away what's called a log, which is a thing that you would write on saying commercials were played and so on and so forth. Every log in this station was worth $27,000. And I would never throw that away. Why would I do that? And yet she had a thing about guys in power. And she made my life miserable. I walked into her office and I sat, because the manager said, you got an issue here, figure it out. I walked into her office and I said, what's the problem here? And watched her melt because she'd been lying. That's the thing about liars. When they get caught, whether they're politicians, in business, somebody that you're married to, somebody you're dating, when they get caught, they melt.
You know what is a good thing to try to remember is that very often people that are and I don't care if it's at your job or in your family or at the grocery store, people that are really amped up and antagonistic are often coming from a place of fear. And so if you can figure out, well, what are they afraid of? Yeah. And like at work, it's often they're afraid of losing their job. They're afraid of getting into trouble with their job, right? If you can figure out what it is they're afraid of, then you can kind of come around sideways and talk to that fear instead of mistaking that fear for rage or aggression or whatever it is. But it is, I mean, it is exhausting. And
you can do that, or you can just say, you're an asshole.
Well, you can do both, I've found, Bob.
Right.
I channel the chaotic energy of Gritty, and Gritty is the mascot for the Philadelphia Flyers hockey team. Gritty is just pure chaos. And sometimes a person who's coming from a place of fear, and when people are fearful, what they try to do to fix that fear is they try to control. So a person who's in a real fear place is going to try to control as many things as they can control. And one of those things might be you, right? So when you see that fear and that control, if you can just go, oh, I know what this is, then you're less likely to get all activated by it. But it's just exhausting. And one thing, because I'm watching everybody in the chat tonight, and I follow all of you on social, and I see what you post. I see when you're having like drama at your job or drama with a family member. And so often it's fear-based.
Yeah.
It's fear-based. And I said that to one of those guys one time. I said, well, what are you afraid of? And he's like, what do you mean, what am I afraid of? I said, I just feel like you're coming from a place of fear. Like, let's talk it out. Maybe we can solve it together. And he goes, I'm not afraid of anything. What are you afraid of? I said, I'm afraid I'm going to hurt you with my hands.
All right. I brought this up. I'm going to change it and lighten it up a little bit. Lamar, you've got the new RV. Do you have plans for the whole summer? I mean, do you plan things out about where you and Carla are going to go?
Well, we've got some, because the way it is now with RVs, campers, or whatever, you've got to be 6 to 9 months ahead, or you get nothing.
Really?
Like right now, if I wanted to go somewhere this coming weekend, I'd have a hell of a time. I mean, because it's booked. Everything is booked. And so what you have to do is, if you've got a place that you really like, they will take a reservation 12 months in advance. So you have to look forward to that, and you make the reservations. And you may make 5 different reservations, and then as you get closer, you turn it loose, and then somebody else will take it if you can't use it. But
the national park.
Yeah, you have to look ahead now.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to get good spots, if you want to get really good spots, like I like to be close to the water, or I like to be, certain different places or whatever.
If you want to camp at like Yosemite or one of the big Yellowstone, one of the big national parks, and you want to do that in July, I hope you made your reservations in November. Lamar's absolutely
How
right.
far out can you go? Do they allow you to go 2 years out?
Some of them go 12 months. Some will go 13 months. That's as far out as you can go.
Is there a limit on how many weeks you could stay? Like sometimes if you wanted to rent a cottage in Maine, and you say, okay, well, I've saved up all year long and I'm going to rent a cottage for 4 weeks for an entire month. Then you call the place and they say, oh, we've had people that have been renting the same week or two for the last 20 years. So no, you cannot do that. Does it work the same way with RVs?
It really depends. Like some places, like in a state park, you can only say, I can't remember, you can only say so many days in a state park, and then you have to move. You can't live there. But now a lot of places, like there's plenty of places that you can rent on a monthly basis, and you can stay there for 3 or 4 months, or you can stay there for a year.
But those places are right off of I-95. I'm talking about really nice places.
Well, even the really nice places, if you're prepared to stay there, we go to a place in Jacksonville, and it's a beautiful resort. It's right on the lake, and it's fantastic. But there's always, even in the nicest places, there's always people that live there. They rent it every month. They live there. And you can buy a place. My brother-in-law, Looney, he just bought a place down at the Orange Beach. He just bought a lot down in Orange Beach, and that's his. So he can go there whenever he wants to, or he can rent it out. He's got an outdoor kitchen and all this kind of stuff. And you can own it. I mean, some places do different things. You can do anything you want to do because somebody will allow you to do it. You just got to find them.
Leslie said 2 weeks is the maximum in state parks.
That sounds right. That
sounds right to me. Yeah.
No, national parks. I think it's different for state parks, isn't it?
Well, she said state, so I don't know. I've never camped one day in my life, so what do I know?
The trick is, like with national parks, and state parks too, we'd like to get a fifth wheel. We have a pull behind camper. We're looking to get like a fifth wheel, which is bigger, but you got to be careful because you get something that's 42, 43 foot long. You can't go into a national park. You can't even go into a state park. I mean, they have limits to how big something can be. So
I did, and then I was looking at. By the way, hi to Dennis, who's up in Fort Kent. I was looking at an article where there are luxury RV places where you have to have 42 feet, and it's overlooking an incredible lake in the distance.
This place that Looney bought, you have to be an RV. I can't take my camper because I'm a pull behind. You have to be an RV, and the RV has to be less than 10 years old, and you have to send them a picture of the RV before they'll rent you a place. Oh, yeah.
What happens when your RV turns 10?
You can't go to that place.
Your bitch ass gets a new one, Bob.
Damn right.
Another place to sleep.
I mean, when you go to these kind of places, it is the cream of the crop stuff. And you saw Looney's RV.
Is Looney an international diamond smuggler?
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
this guy, man,
He's
what
a
a
working.
life.
Listen, Looney is a working son of a bitch. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you.
Yeah.
I love me some Looney.
Yeah.
I want to answer an important question from Janelle Kolf, who said, Sheri, what lip color brand are you wearing? That red looks phenomenal. Oh my gosh, thank you, girl. And really compliments your skin tone. I want to talk about this lip color because I am a fan of your drugstore products. I don't understand people that spend so much money on stuff when you can sometimes get a great deal for less. This is my favorite thing in the world. It's Revlon Color Stay. Let me tell you something. I'm going to wash my face later. I'm going to brush my teeth and I'm going to wake up tomorrow with this lip color. It's a stain. So this part of it is the color. And then this part of it is the gloss. So you apply the color and then you apply the gloss. And when I tell you it lasts all day, no BS, it lasts all day. So this color is, let me look, it's called Stay Current. Revlon Color Stay, and you can buy it at Walgreens, CVS, Target. You do not need to spend $1 million on this. And a lot of times at Walgreens, it's buy one, get the next one at 50% off. So I stock up. Stay current. Love it, love it, love it.
Bob,
love it.
Does it bother you that we don't have the opportunity to enhance ourselves? See, we can't do we have no enhancements. There's no enhancements. That's it. You can put a little product in your hair. I mean, that's about it for us. I mean,
well, I've seen some ads on TV for male enhancement, but I have not.
That's a whole different subject. A whole completely different subject.
Oh, okay. All right.
But I'm just saying, I mean,
no, it's true.
Well, I read a tweet today. Tell me what oh my God, the sun. I haven't seen the sun in days.
Can you save up and get some
sunscreen on?
I don't have any window treatments down here at all. So listen, I saw a tweet today and I'm curious to know what you boys think about it. This woman tweeted that she thinks that every man looks more handsome with the right shape and well-trimmed beard. That it's like basically makeup for men. And I have to say, I agree. I like some face hair on a man.
It's not fair for people that can't grow a beard, though. Bob, can you grow one?
He can.
Oh yeah, definitely. But I get the whole stubble thing. I know it's very popular. I think it's mostly for guys that are a lot younger than I am, because I think you hit a certain age and you all of a sudden it's not really macho. It's like, are you thinking about doing the Santa thing this year?
No.
It does. Maybe it's just my face. You have a very interesting, trim.
It's mad sexy, Lamar.
Like, yeah, it looks great on you. It wouldn't on me.
It's the only place I can grow hair on my face. It's the only place.
What?
I can't grow a beard.
You can't grow hair here?
Some big old mutton chops. Ooh, I love some mutton chops.
My brother Troy, who's passed, he could shave completely. I mean, completely. And in 7 days, full beard. And in his later years, he had the Santa Claus beard. It was completely white, and he had it, and he had the suit. He had the real suit. He had the suit that cost bucks. And he would go to the churches and schools and whatever. He was Santa Claus, and he loved it. And he was awesome at it. But that
Troy looked good with a beard too.
Yeah.
Listen, I mean, take it from the source. Susie Klinger Daly says, "No Shave November is my favorite month. 99% of men look good with beards." And Kay Lisi says, "Mature women love some facial hair." Yeah. And look at what Courtney. I'll get my mouse down here. Look at what Courtney said. "My husband has black hair, but his beard is becoming silver. He doesn't like it. It is fine, in my opinion."
Is it because you don't have facial hair? And so it's like most men don't have breasts, so women's breasts are attractive. Is it a flip on that it's just, this is so different, it's so male, and that's the turn on?
I think for me, okay, so first of all, let me speak for the women in my family. We certainly can grow whiskers, okay? Like, we're Italian. All of my aunts had mustaches. I keep waiting for mine to come in. It hasn't yet. So eventually, right? Because I grew up in a rural ranch community in the middle of Bufu nowhere. All the men looked like cowboys. All the men had beards. All the men were gruff and mumbly. And what am I married to? A gruff,
yeah, that's true.
mumbly cowboy. I imprinted at an early age on men who worked outdoors, looked like they were extras in the movie Tombstone. But I mean, every woman I know, Bob, every woman without exception really likes a man with some facial hair.
I look back when I grew a mustache, and I actually did have a beard when I was in my 20s for a while. I looked like a troll. I did
I
not.
don't believe that.
That is what I looked like, a troll. I'm not a big guy. It just, I mean, I grew up, watching James Bond. That's the greatest dresser, whoever the James Bond was in my mind. And I just read something about this the other day. The coolest dressed guy in the movies. And
without
a doubt. And that's what impressed me and impacted me, I think.
Hey, Erica Wolf, I just saw your thing, and I agree with you. As soon as that sunshine hit Sheri, I said, we know she's not a vampire. We know she's not, because she would have melted. She would have burst into flames. I agree 100%. I would love to have a very neat, tight beard, but I can only grow this. I can grow this. And this right here, this is bullshit right here. I'm still trying to connect, but I can't. We went when I left Budweiser. There's nobody I got to impress or whatever. I did not shave for 2 months, and wow. I could not grow a beard to save my life. I don't understand how my brother could grow one in 7 days. I'm glad we didn't do DNA testing, because I'm afraid some of us would have been shocked. I don't know. I'm just telling you. I mean, I just don't understand how two brothers cannot have the same facial hair.
Yeah, you would think that would be the case. You're right.
I like when Kevin, it's our first date anniversary today. A lot of people are asking for Kevin. I texted him. He's upstairs doing something. So we went on our first date on June 6th, 2008. So today is our 16-year first date anniversary.
Excellent.
I like because Kev he'll grow a bunch of beard and stuff, and then he'll tweak it. So it'll be like outlaw country, then it'll be scary biker, then it'll be 1865 Texas Marshal.
Yes.
And then it'll go kind of minimal, like Devil Man, and then he shaves his whole face and starts over. And I really like that.
See?
I don't know what happened. Someone just said, Bob and my dad are the only men I know that look good beardless. I don't know how that happened. I really don't. I mean, I grew up in a time where guys, there's some guys had mustaches, and one of our listeners said, I've seen Bob with a mustache, and he looks like a very sexy porno star. That's as close to a porno star as I can get. I can tell you that right now.
You know what, Bob? You grew your facial hair at a time when you weren't finished puberty, and you have judged yourself ever since. Yeah. You're a man now, Bob Lacey, and we spell that M-A-N. And you have all your man chemicals and all your man business, and you can grow a man face hair thing.
No, I think the guys who look the best with facial hair, and I mean that like 3-day growth, are all 27 years old and live in New York.
No. I know some guys that are men in a men's age that they've got that, and it's tight. I got a friend of mine that lives in Columbus, Georgia, and a big listener to the show. And he was I was a customer of his at Budweiser or whatever, but he has the best. He has this white beard, and it is the perfect length. It is tight. There's not a wrinkle in it. I mean, it looks fantastic. I would kill to have it, but can't do it.
Bob, listen to what Brooke Shelton Muni just said. Let's face it. Oh, wait, let me go. I want to get this comment. So let me get back up there. Hang on a second. Bob is naturally good looking without facial hair. However, I think he'd look even more handsome with a beard.
I would not. And
Let's
thank you.
try it, Bob.
That's
Let's
sweet.
try it.
I'm not a handsome guy. I'm really
You
not.
can
I know
shave
what I
it
look
off.
like.
Try it. You can shave it.
Bob, you know what you would like? You know how you like a costume. I mean, you would wear a Canadian Mountie outfit if you could, right? You know how you enjoy a costume. Let's talk about one of those mustaches that you wax the tips and it curls up.
Yes. Curl it?
Yes. Mary would love that.
I can't even look at. I'll see a guy like that once in a while. I can't even look at him. It is so disgusting.
I take my eyes off of him when I see a guy like that. I'm just like, damn, man, that's awesome. Oh,
it's so impressive, isn't it?
Listen. We had a sheriff in Spartanburg County. It's been many years ago. We had a sheriff, and he had that, and it curled up. Listen,
yeah,
he got him elected probably 6 or 8 times. I mean,
that could work for a sheriff. I agree.
It looked badass.
Yeah.
Bob and I worked with a guy in radio a very long time ago, and he's passed away, but he was the nicest man. He was so kind. He loved radio with his whole heart. He was a great manager, and he had a Hitler mustache. And Bob and Max and I, we would go, like, we would do something with him. I'm not even going to say his name. We would do something with him. And then for the next several weeks, we would, in the middle of whatever we were doing, one of us would stop and go, do you think he knows it's a Hitler mustache? Because it was a full Hitler mustache.
It was like, did you never pay any attention in high school to history?
He was a Charlie Chaplin fan. He was a Charlie Chaplin fan, and that's what he just.
No, he wasn't. He was an idiot for doing that. Very nice person, as Sheri said. But to walk around with a Hitler, do you know why Hitler had that mustache? By the way, I found this really interesting. He fought in World War I for Germany, and of course, Germany lost, and that really pissed him off. And they would have gas masks on because that's when mustard gas was first used in war. And if you had a mustache that was full, you couldn't seal the mask completely. So if you wanted a mustache, you had to have one that was like right
here.
And then he just embraced it, and it became like the Hitler mustache.
See,
you can't have the Hitler mustache.
Is it better to look good or to feel good? I would have had to went with. I mean, it's better to look good. It's better. Go out looking good. That's what I say.
I can't remember where we were, but we were at like a big convention, a big broadcasting convention. And we went out to dinner at the end of the night. And I was sitting across from this man, this sweet, gentle, good man. And I'd had a couple at this point, had a couple of adult beverages. And I don't even know what he was saying to me because all I could see was his mustache. And I just, like, how do you not know that's a Hitler mustache? But then again, I have to salute him for being the kind of man who said, yeah, I know it's a Hitler mustache, but I got to be me. I cannot let Hitler ruin
I don't think that he knew it was. I'm going to disagree with you. And I think some of us, unfortunately, in our country, and it's interesting that today is the 80th anniversary of D-Day. I think a lot of people just don't even know. And I'm serious about that. Don't even know really what they hear about Hitler. They don't know. He was one of the most evil people in the world. His image is emblazoned in so many people's minds.
Does he have the right to kill the box mustache? He killed it. It was the box mustache before him. It was the box. It was the box mustache.
That's right.
This guy was close to 30 years older than me at that time. And I just feel like he would have to know who Hitler was.
There are people who are walking among us, Sheri, and I'm not going to get political here, that have no idea what the Nazis were all about. They have no idea.
But this guy, like, I was 31 and this guy was 60. He didn't know. Oh, that's what you're drinking, Baker's?
I've had a couple of questions and I'm going ahead and putting it up.
Well, Kev, come say hi. Come say hi to everybody. It's our first anniversary.
Where did you get that?
You have to lean in.
Where did you get
we need to see you, Kevin. We need to see
on
you.
the first anniversary, he's looking at that shirt. I apologize, Kevin.
Ass shirt.
This shirt for Kevin is what we call a boner killer.
That really makes me feel good. You know what I mean?
It should. Would you want Kevin looking at you on my shirt and going, I got to get me some of that sweet Connecticut nutmeg state action.
Please stop.
God.
Congratulations. Congratulations, Kevin.
We were talking about facial hair. Lean in so everybody
Yes,
can
let us see it.
Yeah, let's see what you got.
This is what I call turn sideways. This is what I call the full forest.
I would kill for that. I would kill for that.
But here's what you don't know, Lamar. Like, I love the full forest, but I'm going to walk out. I'm going to walk into the kitchen one day soon, and we're going to have the outlaw biker mutton chops or some other configuration. Because when he gets to the full forest, he starts going wild.
Options. This is the only option I have. I can't do anything else. Other than this, it'd be clean shaven. That's the only two options I have. I wish I had that. I really did.
One of our listeners just said, I have to get me a shirt that gives me a boner killer shirt also. My husband is always after me. Evidently, it's my face. So I think I can make some money off of this.
The Bob and Sheri store, and we'll sell the boner killers.
Yeah.
That's unfair to you, Bob.
I don't care.
If Tony makes money off of it, it's okay, ain't it, Bob?
It's fine. It's fine.
You know what, Bob? Wouldn't it be terrible if selling the Bob Lacey boner killer shirt finally took you over the top?
I don't care at this point. If it takes me over the top and gets me to Maui, that's fine. I don't even care.
You know what? That's the right attitude.
Yeah.
All right, let me talk to Tony, and we can market it as, for women, you know, is your man after you all the time? Slip into the boner killer and feel free to grab a book or watch some Netflix.
Right.
I think you could be changing people's lives.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm helping people and making money at the same time. Winning.
I'd say.
You know, maybe I should wear that shirt, Sheri, to wear to the gas station that I always get hit on at, because that'll probably help.
Do you see there are so many uses for it? And Bob, you have always been a friend to women. Now you'll be the ultimate friend to women.
Later in their lives. That's fantastic. So Kevin, what are you doing? What's going on? What are you drinking? What are you thinking?
I'm drinking sweet tea.
Oh.
Non-alcoholic beverage.
Very nice.
Hey,
which I made from scratch with my own precious hands. I did.
Congratulations on your first date. Where did you take her on your first date?
We went stargazing.
I took her out in the woods.
But wait, here's how.
For real did.
Here's how you can tell how much I liked him.
In the grass.
Yeah, here's how you can tell how much I liked him.
Wait a minute. That's the difference between men and women. We went stargazing and he says, I took her out in the woods.
Yeah. No, seriously. He was like, he was serving as the temporary assistant scoutmaster for his twins' Boy Scout troop, because the existing scoutmaster, I don't know, something was wrong with him. And they were working on like astronomy and constellations. So Kevin was like, yeah, I know some of the constellations. So we went out to look at the constellations, and he was going to tell me what they were. In his estimation, we were going out into the woods. But here's how you can tell how much I liked him. I think everyone is either already a murderer or is a potential murderer.
Yes.
And I got in his vehicle and I drove with him to an undisclosed location at night.
Yeah.
And
yeah, that's true.
I did know where the North Star was, but I would have lied anyway. So.
And I didn't know. He could have pointed up at the sky and said, we call that the crab cake. And I would have been like, oh my God, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
When you like a boy, Heather will back me up here. When you like a boy, you're like, typically I'd be afraid of being ritualistically murdered, but you're so cute. Let's do it.
Every time.
By bugs.
That's why serial killers work. I mean, that's what they work on. I mean, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm very allergic to like everything on this planet because, as I've discussed, my mom isn't a human alien hybrid. She'll be the first to tell you that. So some ants or something bit me. Oh my gosh. It was ridiculous how inflamed I was. But you know what? Kevin didn't murder me. Now, I killed all of his hopes and dreams, but here we are today. all these years later.
Hey, I agree with Brett Asheville. She said that he was taking his own risk because you know how to kill a man and how to bury him and everything. I mean, you're an expert. So
Yeah.
I've watched so much Dateline. I know what not to do in the police interrogation room. These amateurs that don't know how to act in a police interrogation room need to watch a whole lot more Dateline. You need to get your shit right when you get dragged into that questioning
and
room.
when they leave you in that room, they're still recording you. So quit sitting there going, why did I kill him? Why did I? No, you got to be quiet. Be quiet.
No, ma'am. No.
Quiet.
Oh, somebody wants to know if this is a styrofoam cup from the gas station. No. Wait. Show that. Let me show this cup to the camera. Remember when I told you that we stayed at the Big Texas Steak Ranch in Amarillo?
Yes.
And the bathroom door was those swinging saloon doors.
Oh, yeah,
instead of a real door.
Yeah.
And the bedspread was fake suede with a giant buck and bronc embossed on it.
Right.
And the entire time Kevin was like, oh my God, there's a Holiday Inn. I can see it from here. And I'm like, no, we're staying at the Big Texas
50-foot neon cowboy greeting us. Man.
It was the best. So good. You know where we're going? It's on my bucket list. It won't be this summer, maybe next summer. We're going to the Clown Motel in Nevada.
Oh.
It's a retro motel, Bob, that goes all the way back to like the 1950s, and it's all clowns. Every room, everything is clowns. And it just so happens to be in the part of Nevada where the government has moved all of the stuff that used to happen at, say it with me, weirdos, Area 51.
You're a lucky man, Kevin. You're a lucky man.
I tell them that.
She tells me every
I've got a side trip for you that I just read about today. I don't have it in front of me, so I don't have the details. But there is a man in New Mexico who somehow got a hold of ancient dinosaur excrement.
Coprolites, yeah.
And he has a museum, and you can go and see dinosaur excrement in his museum.
He holds the Guinness Book of World Records.
He does.
For the largest collection of coprolites, which is fossilized poop. And he calls his museum the Pooseum.
Mm-hmm.
Pooseum.
That's right. There you go, America. If you haven't planned a trip, we got it for you right there. We are almost out of time, and I don't want to be remiss without taking a moment or two to salute all of the people in the military.
Absolutely.
Because they do so much for our country. And I'm talking about people who are serving now and people who have served over the years in Vietnam, in Korea, and the handful of men and women who still exist. One of them tried to go, he was 102 years old and tried to make it to Normandy today and died on the way.
Yeah.
Oh, God,
just absolutely amazing people who are, a lot of those guys knew they weren't going to make it when those doors came down on Normandy, and they were pepper sprayed by Nazis up in the hills in fortified bunkers. They knew they could be killed, and some of them were 18, 19 years old. Let me just say that they were true patriots, and they were not suckers. They were true patriots, and God bless them.
Bob's dad, my granddad, both served in World War II. They were both members of the Greatest Generation. And that story today about the 102-year-old veteran who died on his way to Normandy, that hit me hard. And not only were they great patriots, but what they fought and died for, and so many of them were teenage boys. Like, a lot of y'all have kids older than the soldiers who stormed the beaches at Normandy. Yeah. They died so that Nazis wouldn't march in our streets.
Right. Yeah. Right.
And so I'm just going to leave it there as a thought to think about. And I'm looking at like Amy Pressler, whose granddad's cousin died at Normandy. You know, none of us are but a degree or two removed from a family that lost somebody on the beaches of Normandy. And
even if you didn't, we're still reaping the rewards of their sacrifice. We are reaping the rewards of other people's sacrifice.
That's right.
And we get to sit here tonight and be silly and goofy and comfortable with technology that allows us to hang out with you live in real time. Because a bunch of boys, they were teenage boys, a lot of them, gave their lives for that privilege.
My father was 18 years old, and he was on a ship between New York and Great Britain, where the staging would be to be in the Battle of the Bulge, which they didn't know was going to be the Battle of the Bulge at that point, but that's the battle that he was in. And his ship was sunk, and he was floating around in the middle of the night in the Atlantic Ocean, 18 years old. And he didn't talk about it very much, but I asked him about it once, and he said, I knew the Army would pick me up.
And that 18-year-old boy who was promoted to the rank of sergeant because the men all around him were being
19.
killed.
He was a 19-year-old master sergeant.
He came home to the United States and was sometimes bewildered that he was raising an entertainer, but so proud of Bob. He left this world so proud of his kids.
Thank you, Big Bob. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Big Bob.
Thank you, Big Bob.
Thank you, folks.
So tomorrow on the regular show, Lamar, the People's Movie Critic, is going to review A Man in Full. Tomorrow's episode of Talking Lamar, I do believe, is called A Country Ass Whooping or something along those lines. And tomorrow's True Weird Stuff is called The Secret City, about the closed secret cities that the Soviet Union created during the nuclear arms race. And when you would go into one of these cities with your family to take a job, as you were heading into the city, they were erasing you from the records, from the census, like you had never existed. Because once you went through the gates, you could never come back out. So that's True Weird Stuff, Talking Lamar, and the regular show, the Bob and Sheri Show with the People's Movie Critic and A Man in Full. Happy D-Day.
Yeah.
Let's all raise a glass and remember all who served and continue to serve.
Good to see you, Kevin. God bless everybody.
All right. Y'all have a great night. Be careful.